can hear it in the background. You can hear the John Williams Superman theme tune playing, because we wanted to make sure that we got that involved. There's a fairground there. On this fairground, it's going to be full of like loads of little cool Lego things you can do. You can ride bumper cars. You can use the Ferris wheel. And we're just filling this full of all these really cool things that you can find and collect. Of course, Superman can fly anywhere. He's also got like a super speed ability, so if when you're flying through the air you double tap A, you can kind of go into a sonic mode. This is Gotham City, but this is Gotham City in chaos. So as part of the story, a Joker breaks out of Arkham Asylum by Lex Luthor help. And as a result of that, a whole load of other villains from the Batman universe also get released. So here we have, we've got citizens running in peril, we've got goons themed for the different enemies, so you have Riddler goons, Two-Face goons, Poison Ivy goons, and this is really kind of like Gotham City in chaos. So the idea is there's all these different things that you can do in the city, anything that's made out of Lego you can interact with, but also we wanted to make sure that there was a reason to do all of this. So throughout the whole of all of the city, there's super villains that you actually need to find and take down. And they're all themed to the different areas within the game. So for example, if you go to the Botanical Gardens, you'll find Poison Ivy. If you go somewhere like the electric company, you'll find Killer Moth buzzing around a light bulb. So we get to kind of have all those kind of silly Lego fun that we have with it, but still within the DC world. So what we'll do is we're now going to switch to another DC character. We're going to show you the Flash. So it is just more than just Lego Batman and Superman. We've also got Flash, Green Lantern, Cyborg. Of course, the Flash needs his abilities as well. So here we have like a... Right, so there we've got the Flash. So when he runs much faster than any of the other characters within the world. So that's his normal jog speed, then combat as well. So when you're doing your punches and kicks, Flash's attacks are much quicker than anyone else's. So you can run into a group of 8 or 9 enemies, take them all down really quickly, and then kind of carry on. The idea is we wanted people to be able to, if you're a Flash fan, to be able to play as the Flash and enjoy this game. Same with people like Green Lantern. Green Lantern can use his ring to kind of build Lego constructs. So he's the only person who can interact with green Lego. He's also quite a cool character because you can see the glow from his ring when he's flying around the city. The city's very much a Gotham City though, so there's all the landmarks that people expect to see. We've got things like just behind that building on the right, there's Ace Chemical. We've actually got Ace Chemical as a level as well, so you get to see the interior base as well as the exterior. There's things like the zoo, so you'll find people like the Penguin hiding around there. We've got Wayne Tower in the background. That kind of like, there's a big epic fight that kind of later on in the game that we can't talk about at the moment, but it was kind of like a brilliant set piece involving Wayne Tower. There's just like we really want to kind of make it a thing that if you're a massive fan of DC, then you'll be able to find these secret characters and little nods towards things like the comics, but all still with a Lego version, like a Lego twist in the world. So with it being Gotham City, we wanted to kind of keep the kind of Gotham City feel, the kind of Art Deco effects, but with things like giant minifigures holding up buildings and just kind of be able to do the silly things you'd expect from a Lego game. So with all the characters that we've got in the world, we wanted to make sure that the Arkham Asylum villains that are broken out will all be there. So you've got things like the Penguin, you've got Killer Croc, you've got Mr. Freeze. But with also that, with the other DC characters, we wanted to bring in other DC heroes as well and villains. So we've got people in there like Sinestro makes an appearance, he's one of the villains in the game. And there's also a few others that kind of reflect in the kind of more Justice League characters. So with it being the kind of city in chaos, any of these vehicles you can jump in, you can drive around. So at the vehicle spawning points, you can say, right, I want to drive around as the Batmobile, which has like rocket launchers that you can use and blow off doors and blow off different things. But we also wanted people just kind of be able to have fun. It's quite funny when you manage to get people like Batman driving around a clapped out old taxi around Gotham City that's kind of falling to pieces. So I mentioned the suits earlier on, saying that we wanted to bring those suits back as gadgets. What that means is where we've managed to fill the level full of Lego, Gotham City has loads of different things that you can interact with, and you use those abilities to access secret areas. So for example here we've got Robin. Robin's just going to change into, this is what we call his acrobat suit. This gives him his acrobat pole, also means that when he's fighting, his fighting style changes with this. So depending on what suit they're wearing, it gives them different moves, different abilities, and different combos and takedowns. Combat's always really important for these games because it is the dynamic duo. You want to feel cool being able to take down groups of enemies. So we wanted to make the combat a bit more in depth than we have in previous titles. You can build up a combo meter, which then allows you to do a special takedown, and they change depending on what suit you are or what character you're playing as. So here we have Robin being able to climb up all these different areas, and this path effectively is going to lead him to a secret of some variety. The abilities that Robin has in there, he also has the ability to turn into a Zorb ball. So at any point throughout the game, you can press the B button. He goes into this Zorb ball, which you can use to roll people over. You can also use it for switches and different puzzle-solving elements. So as you can see, he's kind of heading up to the top here. These are one of these Zorb switches. So as Robin changes into the Zorb ball, you can then use that to roll around and run people over. But you can also use it to power different machinery. So using the roller switch, you can pushes the arrow along, opens up the canister, reveals a gold brick. Gold bricks are what we use to unlock the hero characters throughout the world. So as you get more gold bricks, you can start to unlock the other characters. People like Commissioner Gordon. We've got people in there like Lois Lane, Vicky Vale. So some really cool kind of like DC characters that people kind of want to have fun with. So we'd expect to see we actually get to unlock and play. Villain characters, as I mentioned, the villains will be in the hub as boss encounters. Once you defeat a villain, you can then purchase that character and you actually get to play with them. So you get to run around as people like the Joker, as the Riddler, and using their special abilities as well. So I mentioned that we kind of wanted to do things that we've not done before, and this is the type of thing that we really want to kind of push, something that people wouldn't have expected. We still have co-op gameplay, of course, so at any point the second player can put the controller in, press start. It goes into split screen within the hub, and then you can both go off and explore your own areas. Dynamic co-op also features in levels, as it did in the past, so we really want to kind of give that experience to people, just kind of have a lot of fun within the world. So what we've got is with Superman, some of Superman's abilities, they allow you to unlock new areas. So with his heat vision, you can use it to melt gold Lego. That'll unlock some vehicle pads. You can use the cooling. And what this will do is this will actually show a mini cut to show you the location of Bane as well. So Bane's actually hidden around in this area. So all of the characters have voices, and we really want to make sure that they kind of like did justice to the Lego versions of these characters. So the Joker that we have in the game, we think he's a great version of the Joker. He's different to what you see in the comics, different to what you see in the films. He's very much a Lego version of that character, and that applies for most of them. We've got characters in there that you'd expect to kind of like be really kind of dark and sinister, but because it's a Lego game, they'll say something silly and just kind of make themselves look a bit ridiculous, effectively. So here we have the Batboat. Within the city, we've got things like these races. So you can go around and collect gold bricks, collect characters doing different things. The city isn't kind of like a standalone part either. What happens is when you play a level, once you finish the very first level of the game, we put the player straight into the city. So when you're kind of progressing through the game, you'll start off in theatre, which is the very first level. You come into the city, you then unlock new areas of the city, be able to travel around, kind of unlock new areas, and the city gradually unfolds into this much bigger Gotham City. We really wanted to kind of people give the freedom to be able to kind of explore things at their own pace, so they can go head off, go, oh look, I've just unlocked the power suit, I want to use that to see what I can do in the city now. They'll run off, use the power suit abilities, but we always make sure that there's a point of reference to people, so if they want to go back to playing the story mode, they know exactly where they need to go, and kind of key locations trigger the key stories. So I mentioned that there's a level within Ace Chemical. To trigger Ace Chemical's level, you approach Ace Chemical. Kind of simple enough, you go there and the story kind of takes hold.
Phil, can you give us a kind of broad overview of the story for the game? Just give a bit of background about it.
Sure. So as a starting point, the opening cutscene actually starts with Man of the Year awards, which has Bruce Wayne and Lex Luthor both up for Man of the Year. As the awards kind of start off, Bruce wins the award, which kind of upsets Lex in quite a serious way, because as we know, Lex kind of wants to be in charge of everything and kind of effectively wants to be president of America. So what happens is, during the award ceremony, Bruce goes up to accept his award, but the Joker turns up and gate crashes the party with the Riddler, Two-Face, Penguin, and all these villains start causing mayhem. So you as Batman and Robin then get to go take them all down in the first level. What happens then is Lex sees an opportunity, so breaks Joker out of Arkham Asylum. Batman and Robin then go to investigate, and then it kind of like goes off into this story of Joker and Lex teaming up to kind of take down Batman, take down Superman, and effectively take over the world. And as a result, Batman has to team up with Superman, and we also include other Justice League characters later on in the story, but we play up on the whole side that Batman never really trusts Superman because of the power aspect, so we use that as kind of like a Lego twist on that. So Batman's kind of got a bit of almost like a jealous streak effectively towards Superman. And then our version of Superman is he almost comes across as a bit arrogant, but without meaning to be. He's kind of like, he's just so sure of himself because he is Superman, he thinks he can do anything. But of course, it being Superman and with Lex Luthor knowing his weakness, kryptonite also plays a part of this. And effectively, Batman and Superman don't do too good job at start off, and then as the story progresses, they kind of really need to call him back up to help take down what Joker and Lex kind of bring to the party.
Hence the other superheroes.
Yeah. Hence the kind of the calling with the Justice League. So.
You mentioned the kind of story in the voice cast. You've got a few of the characters, I believe, like Clancy Brown doing Lex Luthor. I think have you and Kevin Conroy going to be Batman doing the voiceover for that, or can you talk about any of the characters that are being voiced?
Well, with the voices, we wanted to make sure that we had people that were kind of iconic characters, and we were really happy that we got to get Clancy Brown to do Lex, because he's done Lex in the animated series and things like that, so we were really happy about that. For the other characters, we've actually got some people that haven't, kind of like some people that you'll know, and some people that are kind of new to it as well, but we're really happy with what we've got. We think we've got some brilliant people who've done a brilliant job of kind of doing a different twist on these characters.
Is now a good time for audience questions, or you want to show some more of the game on?
Sure, what we'll do is, while Sam's kind of running around the city showing stuff, we'll actually fill some questions, yeah?
Good stuff. We've got some t-shirts and some Lego Batman 2 goodies for anyone that